Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's the show that we put out to give you content where you're like, we don't want it. Yeah. Things you don't want. It's kind of like, and if you order now, here's this thing you'll never use. And it's like, you ordered now, and here's that thing. But we have a show tonight, and Bobby, Bobby being the ultimate guest getter,
Yeah,
asking,
buddy.
asking you shall receive. I sat there on the couch next to my girlfriend, and I was just like, I'm not explaining this to you, but Bobby and I were joking about certain random people. Like, no, I wish we could get that guy, and then Bobby got that guy. So,
He might be one of those we tell we don't do the whole show with guests. So here we go. You pop in for your window.
I'm almost thinking we need to get another guest on the show. But I feel like that guest would make fun of him. But like, I don't know what to do with that. But yes, I hate to tease it anymore. I put it underneath our very special, and I put in quotes, yes, speech impediment man coming on the show. The in our opinion, the greatest stutterer that's ever been on the Howard Stern show by
Yeah,
far.
I
Yeah,
would say with a lot of distance between him and whoever's second.
and yes, maybe one of them at the beginning seemed to catch fire, but this one aged better.
And it's like he's the female trans dart player. He's so much better than the rest of the class around him. It's ridiculous. It's not fair.
Wait, is that one of your stories?
Yep, is that one of your stories?
Yeah, I got four stories though, so don't worry. I like great minds. I'm like, there's no way we can't cover this. I saw that in the post this morning. I'm like, tremendous.
Are all the clergymen alive in your stories?
Oh, I didn't read through. Oh no. Everything else I'm sure is different, but
Okay, okay. I was just gonna say if
that
those
one
are
was
two,
great.
I'm gonna go back to bed and you can handle this.
No, wait. Why do I get to lose? I get to be alone. We don't even have like what's his name, whatever today. It's fine. But by the way, I know we announced it yesterday, but we got thanked, Bobby. Our friends Ryan Roberts and Matthew James messaged me out of all the people they were thanking when they were starting their new morning show in Hudson Valley, New York yesterday, and they Ryan took a minute and said, "Hey man, uh, I want we Matthew checked out your show later and then messaged me and showed me the clip of you guys shouting us out as we first go on the air, and that was pretty cool. We appreciate it." I go, "Of course, man." He's like, "You guys
That's
can come
awesome.
on either one of you wants to come on and be a mic one time, anytime you want. So if you ever have to promote anything, Bobby, in that area, in the Poughkeepsie area or anything like that, you've got a place to go." So um, they're good
Hottest
guys.
terrestrial morning radio show around, I would say, in your area, and the best wheat bends in the area.
Yeah, neither things in my area, but like I appreciate it. But I'm sure in Kish's area, where Kish dwells, that's his area of
Ooh.
rock.
All kidding aside, I feel like Kish and Ryan would get along very, very well.
I think Kish and most people get along very well. Kish is a wonderful man, but also I think people always think beard on beard action is a good thing.
That definitely helps. I was also just thinking like he could be like the father from that father and son song. Old man, take a look at my life. I'm
Oh,
a
that song.
lot like you.
I thought it was
Not
like the Everclear song. It's like, Father of mine, where have you been? I'm like, that song stinks. They both
I mean,
stink.
Brian is doing morning radio in 2024. His dad may not have been there.
He may not, but
There's a reason.
he's a good father, and that usually means that your father wasn't. You know, it's not usually passing on the torch.
Yeah, that is true.
But so I have you ever seen the movie? Last night I watched the movie The Lighthouse. It's from like 4 or 5 years ago. It's got William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, and that's really it. There's like two other actors in it for a second, but it's the two of them the entire movie. Dude, it's haunting. It's fucked up. You ever hear of the movie The Witch?
Yes.
The person who made The Witch made this. And it's the same kind of thing where isolation is the whole thing. It's two people back in the old times. One guy runs the lighthouse, the other guy needs a job at the lighthouse, and they just go fucking crazy. And they lose their mind. But like it's the great William Defoe's performance, and I'm not spoiling because it's 5 years ago, but there's one scene right where he is being buried alive, basically, and he's laying there and he's giving a speech as they're firing dirt to his face, and he's just going off on this speech, and he's shoveling dirt into his mouth, his eyes. So I looked it up, and they said like for the first day, they had to do it a couple takes because he was getting pissed. He's laying. It's all black and white, so you can't see the coloring. And there's a funny meme out there that says it had to be black and white because without it, Robert Pattinson would look like Super Mario. And they showed it in color photo, and the way he had the mustache and a red hat, they're like it was too much. But that's not why. But the he's laying in like in this muddy cold water they put there to make it look better, like the coloring. So he's laying in cold water with dirt being thrown on him and he's talking. And they were trying to use like, fake prop dirt at first, but it didn't look right. So he was getting pissed. He goes, fuck it. Just get real dirt and get it over with. They did like three things, and they're literally shoveling real dirt. It's falling in his mouth. It is as he's continuing to get it. And like I looked that up, like he didn't get any awards. Like this, when you watch this, you're like Defoe should have won every award. It's two people acting insane on the brink of madness alone. It's a fucking crazy movie. It's a horror fantasy, but it's crazy. There's some real weird violence. If you're a big fan of seagulls, don't watch this. But besides that, it's a good time.
I thought you said this was written by the Brokeback Mountain director.
No, I did not.
Two probably very gay men hiding in a lighthouse together.
Bobby, you keep thinking that the entire time, and at one point when they're very drunk, you can tell that the folk character is maybe trying to get the guy like into that. Like they're so fucking, they're just drinking bottles and bottles of shit. And the whole isolation, and he kind of tries to close in on him, and all of a sudden Pattinson's character goes, "Hey," and like a fist, and it goes like this, and then it becomes fighting real quick.
Which is crazy because in real life those roles were reversed.
And then they were in this. You see how much bigger Pattinson is than the shorter man. And even at one point in a script, he goes, "You're a short, sad man." I'm like, oh, that's not nice. You can just say sad man. But
Hey, stop improving, Patterson.
and then there is a lot of you don't see it. You see the face, but you don't see a lot of jerking off because I guess that's what happened if there's like no one around you in the lighthouse, just the two of them, and then like he's staring at this like mermaid statue. He's just like but you're getting the noises like they're doing the noise I just did. It's great. It's a wild movie. The two of them act like I haven't seen someone be this nuts as like a villainous person since like Daniel Day-Lewis in That There Shall Be Blood. Like that's what I compared to Vo's. Like and it's like that good too. And it would.
The bad guy.
What?
He's the bad guy.
When you watch it, there really isn't a good guy, but like there's a younger guy who comes in for this job to be like the lighthouse assistant or the wiki, whatever. And then this guy's just a complete dickhead to him the entire time. Like just abuse of power, fucking treating him like absolute shit the entire time, and they're both kind of losing their minds and all this shit comes up. But yeah, Defoe would be the bad guy in this, but you don't really root for Pattinson either. You're kind of not rooting for either one. You're kind of just seeing if one of them kills each other or themselves. That's kind of what you're watching for. It's crazy.
Sounds like a very interesting watch. I
It
don't know if
is.
it's my particular cup of tea, but it does seem very good.
It's not something I would normally watch. And when we saw it, we didn't look to see that it said horror fantasy and definitely would have normally picked this. But once we started it, like, I want to see it through the end. I'm not usually that kind of, but it was so well done that you didn't care about the weird violence or the trippiness to it sometimes. So it was good in that sense. But like, it was one of those ones where I'm like, hey, can we just like watch something else before we go to bed? Because like, I'm not going to bed with this in my head.
No, I've been there. Usually I go with like Family Guy or Family Matters or All in the Family.
Something with family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a family.
F is for family.
Or the Family Matters diss track. Which, by the way, Bobby, I'm disappointed that yesterday you did not cover any of you cover like the very beginnings of stuff, but we had the most diss track heavy weekend. And then yesterday you did not come in with one of your stories being about the Drake Kendrick Lamar super battles that are happening.
Sometimes you go, I need to not pay attention to this right now before I do things or get into that same headspace.
But did you hear what Metro Boomin did?
Shut up and made some drums?
What he did exactly. Like, no, but like what you said, he actually did. He made a beat My son told me this yesterday. He made a beat and he offered it up there. He goes, any young rappers who want to shit on Drake, you can have this for free, but you have to put it out with this beat, and I will pick a winner of the best diss on Drake on this, and you yourself as a young rapper get to keep this beat for free. And it's a pretty dope beat, but like he's pushing into it so much, he knew he'd get attention and stuff, but also just like let's shit on Drake.
It's gonna be interesting to see how this all shakes out. I told a couple of my musician friends to hit up Drake because he's out of producers. I mean, he used Who Kid for his first diss.
The It's gotten so like in the mainstream now that last night on Monday Night Raw, CM Punk quoted Kendrick Lamar shitting on Drew McIntyre.
Hell yeah. I saw, didn't Triple H come out too and invite them both to SummerSlam and said that they could solve the beef there?
Yes, yes. Everyone, listen, they're very smart. They know that you talk about the trending thing, but everyone is talking about this thing, and it's weird that it's bringing, and this is going to sound dumb to anyone that enjoys hip hop. Um, Drake's known. Drake, grandma test, I think grandmas, not everyone, but grandmas, if you talk about the rappers today, grandmas might know Drake. As awesome as Kendrick Lamar is, and to me, way better than Drake, in my opinion, but whatever. It's like, but I enjoy him more. He's not in the mainstream because there's not a lot of songs he's had that have been on pop. Drake's done pop shit. You know what I mean? This, I think, is going to get the attention on Kendrick. Once it goes away with the shitting on people and all that, I think the attention on Kendrick Lamar will get white people that didn't usually listen to it to go, oh shit, this guy's also very good. You know what I mean? It could be
Yeah.
positive in both ways. And I think white people will be like, oh, was I rooting for the one the white people were supposed to root for? Oh no, I didn't know. Because I hate to say this, but whenever hip hop happens every couple of years, hip hop makes sure to have one guy for the white people. They're like, all right, nerds, you can have this one. And then like when they find out, they turn on him quick. Because like I remember in the '80s, they were like, wait a minute, MC Hammer's a loser.
Yeah.
Like, but they didn't know that because he was just like, they didn't know what other rap was. Like, oh, wait, what is this Cool Mo D? What's Big Daddy Kane? We didn't know that was good. It was cool shit.
Who's clearing their throat?
Like, let me, let me clear my throat.
I think both parties should be very involved, should be very happy that the greatest white rapper of all time has decided to remain out of this beef.
What are we doing?
Eminem.
Oh, well, oh yeah. There's no purpose to even get involved.
But he would have buried both of these guys. He actually like rap battled. He didn't just come on and like, you're a pedo. No, he go to sleep.
I'm happy that other people like MGK and stuff like that aren't getting involved, where they just get destroyed and they make Kendrick and Drake come together. Like, how do we make up? Let's shit on fucking Machine Gun Kelly for a little while.
It'd be fun to watch MGK, Macklemore, Eminem, and that guy from the movie about white men who can play basketball all come together, and they're like, we're our own team now. They're like, what? You guys can't be the team.
I will let you disparage many people. You will never disparage the wonderful name of Jack Harlow. How dare you?
How dare I? How dare he, Pat? Oh, I sell smoothies to clean out your colon. Fucking ruined a great movie. I hope Woody Harrelson ties him up and throws him in the trunk of a car.
To stay a fan of Jack Harlow,
makes him do the fucking RFK commercial.
Right. to stay a fan from Jack Harlow, I have to tell myself I'm never going to see that movie. Like, I knew I like Jack Harlow, but I'm not going to watch him act. I also don't watch Little Dicky act. And I know that one movie, TV show Dave is good. I still won't do it because I like what they do. I'm not going to get ruined it by this terrible acting. They're not supposed to be actors.
Now, I was spared from Little Dicky because I knew that song Molly was going to happen at some point in the TV show, and emotionally, just couldn't handle that one.
Well, if you want a good one, you listen to Godzilla. It's got him and Eminem, and you're happy.
Ooh, bitch, I'm a monster. No good bloodsucker.
Yeah, see, now people are like, I can see why this is on Patreon. White Men's Rap Review.
Came out the gate swinging.
All right. See, we both love that story. It says it's one of your three, and I did pick four because I had a feeling. I don't know why. When I saw it, I go, if Bobby's gonna pick one I pick, it's gonna be that. Do you want to lead with that? The darts?
Sure. In a recent or in a recent event at the Denmark Open, British female darts player Dita Hedman chose to forfeit her match rather than compete against the transgender opponent, Noah Lynn van Leeuwen. Hedman, who was scheduled to face Leuven in the quarterfinals, explicitly stated her decision was based on her belief that biological men should not compete in women's sports. She refuted claims that her withdrawal was due to illness and declined any compensation for potential losses due to her decision. This incident has sparked considerable outrage or considerable debate within the sports community about the inclusion of transgendered athletes in women's competitions. Noah Lynn van Leeuwen, who began her transition at the age of 16, has faced backlash as she moved into women's competitive darts. Despite the controversy, Van Leeuwen complies with the darts regulation authorities policy governed by the International Olympic Committee, which includes maintaining a testosterone level below 10 nanomoles per liter for at least 12 months and a stable gender identity for at least 4 years. Who is the piece of shit in this story, Pat? Is it Van Leeuwen? Because she should get in her van and be leaving the women's sports to women. Is it the other bitch who just didn't want to play against a trans athlete? Like, you're already a dart player, you know? It's not like it's a real. Anyway, like, or is it darts in general? Because it's kind of like the trans sports. It's not really a sport, but we all pretend like it is so people who play it feel good about themselves. And if you say it's not a sport, they throw a real temper tantrum. And you're like, normal
Or a
people wouldn't
dart?
do that.
That's the
Apparently
one
not,
problem. They
Pat.
have weapons.
Apparently not, because you're getting ahead on my answer a little bit here, which is the bitch had weapons and chose not to use it. It'd be like fencing and being like, I'm not going to fight that guy. What are you doing here? You
All
skied
right.
the 1.5 miles. Now you're not shooting. Come on. Pat, who's the piece of shit in this story?
Okay. So I'll preface this by saying about a week or two ago, I was at a party, and I'm the only person at that party who doesn't drink. And people were playing darts, and there's a garage set with a lot of different things going on there and stuff like that. And they're like, "Oh, do you want to play?" And I'm like, and I thought about it, I was like, the last time I played darts, I drank. Like it's one of those things that normally most people only do when intoxicated, or at least start that drink and share drink. Like when I was in college, we used to play all the time. Like we go to a bar and there's a dartboard somewhere. Me and a couple of the rugby guys would get a couple pitchers, and then you just play each other. You play cricket or something like that, and you'd argue and battle. And sometimes you play the gum games like cricket, but with points, and you're starting to do math drunk. That leads to fights, and it gets to be a terrible night on the way home. And you're like, "No, whatever, I was a 17 twice." It's like you're like fucking arguing. So I'm playing this game and with people that are drinking and high, whatever, and like one guy was starting to get ready to throw, and he just lost his balance, and there's like next to a garage door. No one else is looking because they're drinking, but I'm sober paying attention because I'm next. He kind of like leans, he wobs like this, then his head just hits the garage door thing. He gets himself back up, looks like this, and then hits a bullseye. So what I'm saying is, darts is easy as fuck. so, so the fact that there is competitive not drinking a league shocked me. I thought that was the one sport. Like bowling's also to me a drinking sport, but I get not
100%.
drinking in bowling. But I get that you can also be really good at bowling if you don't drink, and it does take more. There is skill involved in darts. Don't get me wrong. You need aim. You know that's the part. Hand-eye coordination. You need the ability to to read a board and also not kill someone. I get it's really just hand-eye coordination and and aim. That's really what it is. But still, there is a skill to it, and I get it. That being said, we were playing with there was females that were playing as well. And when a female was playing, it's not like everyone was like, "Oh, she better move up," or she needs a disadvantage, or anything's gonna happen, which is different. It's aim, if anything. The only difference is usually if how the board is set up. The board, if females are tend to be shorter, but not always, than men. So therefore, maybe it's a little higher up throw for a 20 or like a weirder throw than me being level to a thing where they're throwing that regard. But besides that, what I'm saying is it's one of those few sports that I don't think there's a women's league or men's league and shouldn't matter if there's a trans. It shouldn't matter either way. But the piece of shit is not the guy who's like, fuck you, you shouldn't be here because This guy is doing what no one's ever done for darts: make people talk about darts. I don't think he cared that there's trans people. I think he thought, oh, a trans person, if I'm outraged, at least somebody will pay attention to fucking darts. And who pays attention to stuff? People who are homophobic or who hate transgender people. And yeah, they might not be known as the best people, but they're passionate. So maybe they'll become dart fans, and then I'll sell some merch because I have 3 shirts left from my 2018 championship run in my van that I'd like to sell. So I need them. So I get why that guy is doing it. I guess the piece of shit in this story is the trans person for going, I'm going to be the first trans person to do something. What can I do? And I'm guessing they went down a list of all the things like, fuck, someone trans did swimming. Fuck, someone trans did track and field. What's left? Darts? I guess I'll be trans in darts because trans people don't give a fuck about darts. They avoid bars with darts because what do drunks do? Throw darts at trans people. So why would they even play this game? And the sad thing is, why can they qualify for stuff? Because it proves that no one really takes darts seriously enough to the point where a trans person can just be like, yeah, I guess I'm really good enough to be in the league. so the piece of shit is the trans person for not choosing a better platform.
Yeah, like if you're trans, your whole thing is you cut off your dart. Why are you so do you fancy playing with him now? You know?
Now, okay, I'm always confused in this, and sorry for my ignorance.
hmm
Is all trans? It's not trans people don't have to all have it cut off, right? But they have to just like not use it, or does it have to be gone? Or are they just tough? I don't know the rules of trans.
I think in order to get the pronouns, you have to cut it off.
I guess, but I mean,
No, I'm kidding. I, the rules have gone
because
out the
like
window.
yeah, because I'm saying like, because if you're labeling it for certain, like the only thing anyone we know sees it as is porn. When you're like, shit, I didn't mean to hit that button. It's like you're like, well, they definitely didn't cut it off.
No, that's a special breed, unlike trans people, which are special.
I don't know if we're
Jeez.
allowed to call them a breed, but I kind of appreciate that.
Uh, for me, the piece of shit would be darts in
Yeah,
general.
darts. Just the dart league.
No, yeah, like I've said this for years. If you want women to stop being like, we need equality, just let them play in the men's leagues.
Right.
Like for years, when Brittany Griner was saying, I want to play DeMarcus Cousins, like, yeah, let her.
Oh
All
my
these
god, Brittany
broads
would have
that want,
destroyed her.
yeah, all these broads that want equal play in soccer. Let fucking not McNabb, what was that? Landon Donovan's gay ass run all over him. Like, you know what I mean? Just let them play, and then they can learn that no, there is a big difference between here.
I like your idea of Donovan McNabb tackling, even though he wasn't a defensive player. Let him tackle them.
Well, they did play a D3 college right before the Women's World Cup and lost 17 to nothing. So it's not like there's a ton of disparity there.
Right.
But it, just let them play and then it's not a problem. Hey Netta, you want to prove you deserve equal pay? Beat the dude at darts. That makes a hell of a bigger impact statement. My dad taught me something when I was younger that I think is really important. If you want to complain about something, it's a lot easier to do so having gone through it than trying to avoid going through it. Right? Like we can both say we are not huge fans of comedy contests, and that carries a little more weight having won them, knowing that the only reason I get to do comedy is because of a contest. Going, I'm not a
Right.
huge fan of them carries a lot more weight than if I was like, I'm not doing that contest. I don't believe in them. Beat the dude and shut the fuck up. Or just shut the fuck up. You said there's not a big difference between women's and darts and men's darts, Pat. I bet it's a lot easier to get the men's league to shut the fuck up before they throw.
Um, have you been around drunk men who think they're good at darts?
No, the dart league, the
No, I'm saying either dart league
NFL
guys.
of darts.
Yeah, the dart leagues and the pool leagues and all those men talk more than women do. I think it's the women. Those are the one times I think where the women actually talk less and they go like, "Shut the fuck up and just throw." And they're like, "Listen, my strategy is we start with the 18s and then we walk this way." You're like, "All right, no strategy. Throw your dart, goofball." You know what I mean? You're throwing a dart. Stop your strategy. The over talking of like, I've gotten into conversations with drunk dart players about the trajectory. I can't even say the word. The trajectory of the dart and then what room you're in. I'm like, oh, now we're math for people. Now we're doing engineering. Just throw your stupid dart. By the way, sober after one game getting used to it was beating drunk people. So I was like,
Yeah.
I owed your sport.
Do you think both darts and billiards or pool were invented as a way to combat AA? They're like, oh shit, there's somebody who's trying to get people out of bars. If we come up with dumb games, we'll get people to come to bars.
Yeah, but also I do think it's the one. I think that darts and billiards are the thing that makes people when they do quit drinking that they miss that more than their families and stuff. And they're like they don't realize they could just get a pool table or a dartboard. Like I've talked to people that are like, but I could never play again because it's in bars and I can't go to bar. I'm like, you could just get a dartboard. Like it's not the same. It's exactly the same. It's
Seems
exactly
like
the same.
the
You don't.
difference
Yeah,
is
yeah.
just
You
that
didn't like
alcohol you
darts.
love. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't like darts. You liked what darts represented. Your excuse to go get drunk. You're like, oh no, I'm a drunk. I'm playing in a league. You're not in a league. You're an alcoholic. You're an alcoholic league.
I think I'm gonna go join a dart league.
Yeah, it's fun. And then Bobby, do you like women without necks? Because they're there and they're ample and ready for you. You get a song?
A woman without a neck was calling.
Oh, nice. Hi. She's like, hello.
How did
Bobby,
you
what are you doing
know?
here? All right. Okay. You want this is a fun one, Bobby. This is a POS story made for us. Like this is for us. This is a story that we would cover all the time. Because
I
if there's two things we cover here a lot, the WNBA and
and
teachers
uh,
sleeping with their students.
I was gonna say pregnant stingrays, but same idea.
Yeah, you know what? We stopped doing that. I stopped giving updates. I can't do it anymore. I don't care. Madison Bergman's alleged victim's family full of rage about selfie queen teacher busted for making out with student. That's a lot of wording there to say yes. A teacher got in trouble. Madison Bergman out of Wisconsin for making out with Bobby. Ready? Let's play the game. Guess the age.
14-year-old boy.
Too high. Bam, bam,
Oh,
bam,
12-year-old
bam.
boy.
Too high.
Oh God, a hero. 8-year-old boy.
Too low.
10-year-old.
Almost.
9.
11.
I say 9. You say 11. 9.
9/11. 9/11. Madison Bergman, the Wisconsin teacher, busted for allegedly making out with quotes, by the way, quote, making out with an 11-year-old at Rivercrest Elementary School, was constantly thirsting for attention, leaving the family of her alleged victims furious. Oh, they're full of rage about this, the mom of one of Bergman's other students told the Post. They're out for her head. Everyone is. There are group texts and meetings. People are checking in with the family to make sure they're okay. It's a mess. I like that everyone's talking about it at the school. They're like, yeah, let's all get that lady who makes out with our kids. And all the dads are like, yeah, I'll talk to her separately. By the way, while the families are outraged, the mom says there was always something about Bergman's behavior that struck her as weird. Now, this is my favorite part. Okay, Bobby, let's say you are a parent, okay? And you find out that, and let's be all serious for 1 second. Not the part where you're like, oh, proud of my boy, whatever. No, but seriously. Okay, let's flip it so you don't say proud of my boy. You have a daughter and a male teacher that you found out making out with your 11-year-old daughter. Are you upset at that person to the point where you want to kill them, or are you going to be petty about things they do in their lives?
You ever seen that karate instructor video where they're leading them through the airport and the dad's on the payphone?
Yes.
That's the level of anger we'd be dealing with there. Now, if you flip the table, I'd probably just make her life hell.
Now, this
I
is
know that's sexist of me, but I truly think there is a very big difference between those two.
no. I think to be honest, you taking a violent route makes her stuff go away. and then everyone makes her a victim, and then now you are the bad person because yes, she was awful, but you proved that. Then there'll be people out there that actually go, oh, I see why this girl turned to the teacher because her father's so violent that this girl had no choice in life. Every man she turned to was terrible, and you're not. You're trying to save her life. So you just bullying and like gaslighting and all that would be a way better way because they couldn't really prove that, and then you're just fucking with them. So your tactic would be way better
I
in
think I'd
all lights.
I think I'd probably send in a biological agent, like a kid with HIV.
Oh, I thought you meant a trans person. It's me, the biological agent. I play
The
dark sometimes.
anti-biological agent. But like, a little kid with HIV, and then if she makes out with him, she'd be like, "Oh, how'd you get that? Weird. Weird. It's almost like you're making out with students. Probably shouldn't do that, huh?"
Well, are they Irish? Because they're like they're also bisexual. It's me, biological. That's me.
No. I thought you were saying biological, not illogical, but that makes a lot more sense, you crazy bitch making out with kids.
It's me, biological. He touched my pussy and he touched my cock. Here I am with biologic.
I don't like that.
Biologic.
I don't like that at all.
Here comes this thing. I just suspected something was off, says the mom. Just a weird feeling. She was an attention seeker, a selfie queen. Pictures of herself from every angle, pictures of her cup of coffee, pictures of her cute shoes. Just one of those girls. What are we focusing on? Why are we worried about herself? First of all, why are you following this teacher's Instagram or whatever, where you know about her selfies and her cute shoes? Now,
She
now,
was one of those girls who, makes out with 11-year-old boys. That would have been
now
my
if you
opening statement.
right, if you look up Madison Bergman with two N's at the end, you're not going to see the hottest lady, but she looks like someone that some women in their mid 20s that still look like they could be in high school. This girl
Yep.
looks like a child, kind of, but she can dress up pretty.
Can
Um,
you, Madison, what was it?
Bergman, Bergmann. So wait, Wisconsin next to it if you need that. Then, or 11, you're making out with 11-year-old if you want to put that in your phone.
Don't want to put that.
Right.
Not guilty.
So this girl is not ugly by any means, but she looks like a kid, kind of like very childlike looking. So, but I'm guessing any woman who's mad about her posting pictures of her shoes and cup of coffee looks like a beastmaster because right away you're like, look at her with the shoes she can fit into and a cup of coffee with her dainty hand can hold. It's like
And
it
it's
sounds like a
Wisconsin.
big fat beast is there. But Bergman, 24, has been charged with one count of first-degree child sexual assault. She was arrested after the alleged victim's parents found texts between the pair, according to charging documents obtained by the Post. The stupid thing. It's updating. The boy's enraged father, just like you say with Bobby, now it's doing the whole thing, printed out the conversations and stormed into Riverquest Elementary. The school contacted authorities, sparking an investigation. That'd be crazy. Come storming in, they're like, your teacher's speech, calm down, sir, You have to need proof. And he pulls out texts of her like giving talking about their in-depth making out. That's gotta be insane to walk in with. The charging documents allege the text revealed intimate messages from Bergman detailing their encounters inside the classroom during lunch or after school, including texts telling the boy how much she enjoyed him touching her and quote unquote making out. And they keep putting quote unquote making out. So I don't know if that's covering up for something else or why they're doing that. Maybe because he's so young, but maybe they were making out with other things besides mouths. I don't know, but the touching her part too is crazy. Additionally,
Why is she texting an 11-year-old? Stop texting. That's how you get caught. Any crime. That's the first rule of mafia. Don't use your fucking phones.
I mean, I know you're just being involved in the story, but that was the most real advice you've ever given out here. Listen, when you're dealing with 11-year-olds, don't text them. They don't know. They share an account with their parents. They've got the same phone plan.
This doesn't even have to be pedophilia. This is any crime in general. The government records everything you do on here. Stop using this. Meet in person. Have the AC on. Put a little music in case your boy's got a bug on, and then you just start, hey, we're running liquor today? We sure are.
But like, if you looked at their text, I'm sure in her phone it says like stud muffin or something. And in his it says Mrs. Bergman.
Yeah, that's my point. Optically, it's not going to look good, regardless what the content is. When one of those is like forbidden fruit, and the other one's like my history teacher.
Bobby, he was an 11 bidden fruit. How dare you? He wasn't 4.
4 would have kept his goddamn mouth shut.
4 doesn't have a phone. Additionally, cops say that they found a folder with the victim's name on it in her bag. The folder allegedly contained handwritten notes talking about how much they kissed. What the fuck?
Dude, the kid's a romantic. What can I say?
Bobby, there is one selfie that you look at this lady and you go, is she special needs? Hold on. Can I just copy the? I'll get the picture for later. I'll send it to you in a second. But like, finish the story. In one of the letters, Bergman allegedly wrote, "One of my cousins is in the 5th grade, and I can't imagine a man talking to her how we talk." So she's even saying, "Hey, if a guy was chatting with my cousin in the 5th grade who's a girl, the way I'm talking with you, that would be crazy." So instead of her saying this is wrong, she goes, "That's why I know we have a special relationship. And I do love you more than anyone in the world. But I have to be the adult here and stop." When confronted with the letters, authorities say Bergman invoked her right to an attorney. Yeah, she did. Dude, do you think like the S's were spelled wrong? It's like he's like, "I'm sorry" for the backwards S. Take me back.
What the fuck? She broke up with the kid?
Yeah, but
via
saying
letter.
Better, I love you more than anything in the world. But then also letter, but then he has to go to class.
That's my point.
Like 11 years old. I had no heartache at 11. I didn't know what
she
heartache
gave
was
him
at
a
11.
homework assignment to find out he had a heartbroken.
Yeah,
like, what was she like? "I've got a special reading assignment for you, Tim. Here, it's over, you piece of shit."
Piece of shit. I hope she didn't call him a piece of shit.
She just starts flunking whatever 11-year-old he starts dating next.
All right, I sent you what I think is supposed to be like the picture that pissed off the fat lady, like her what she thinks is cute selfies, but she looks like Down syndrome. I don't know. It's not. Maybe it does it for 11-year-olds, but that's not doing it for me. Cops do not state how long the alleged abuse had been going on, but Bergman told investigators she had a close relationship with the family, and she got the boy's number in December when the family invited her to the Afton Alps for winter break. So she even hung out with the family for winter break, got the phone number, and then started dating the boy. So she was like involved with the family and shit. Now you're ready for the real kicker, Bobby? This is the part that's really
if there hasn't been a real kicker to this, I'm not ready at this point, Pat.
Well, I'm gonna send you a picture right now, and I want you and you can look at it and then go, "Oh wait, who's this couple?" Hold on, and it should be going in a second. You should get that in a second, and once you get that one, do you see the picture? A lovely little couple, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's Bergman and her fiance, Sam Hicks. Bergman is free on $25,000 bond. She has disabled her social media and is not allowed on school property or school events. It's unclear if she was yet hired by an attorney to authorize to speak on her behalf. Additionally, Bergman, who was engaged to be married, will no longer be walking down the aisle in July. It's been infinitely postponed, a pal of her fiance said on Saturday, and it probably won't happen. First of all, that's the craziest statement ever there. It probably won't, which means that these are the friends trying to convince this guy. It's like, listen, we all make mistakes. This guy's like, but because you know what? If you're 24 years old, that's got to be a mind fuck. That like she just wrote in a letter, "I love you more than anyone in the world," when she was engaged. So like you're not even loved as much as an 11-year-old. Like what's the 11-year-old doing that you're not? Like I guess Dude, make out with her. All she wants to do is make out and wants love letters. She went to an 11-year-old boy. Make her like paper mache or something. Make one of those things with popsicle sticks like art. It's not hard to. One thing this girl isn't is high maintenance. All you gotta do is like finger paint. Like, and she. If you, it's one thing to be cheated on. If you were cheated on by an 11-year-old boy,
Be a dead 11-year-old boy. Be real
no,
tragic.
you can't blame him.
Be some fourth grader not making it home from school that Friday, Pat.
You can't blame him.
Oh, you thought she was bad?
By the way, he is really upset and heartbroken. He's embarrassed and pissed. Oh, you think? And the person goes, he didn't deserve this. Everyone is pissed. He said pissed twice in an article in the New York Post. Pissed. We understand the gravity of the situation and are committed to providing the necessary support for any child who may be impacted, the district wrote. Hey, we sent out a school note. If anyone else is being banged by their teacher in sweet makeouts, we've got a psychiatrist.
Yeah, and what's that psychiatrist gonna do other than just sit there like a priest at confession, beating off to all the dirty stories? Fucking weirdo.
What's
Let
he
me
gonna do? Make out with all the students.
Yeah, and then that's my point. That's his job too. He's like, wait a minute, this bitch is stealing my thing where you mentally manipulate kids into getting molested? Come on. Let the pros in. Go back to your own dart league.
We kindly request the school community to respect the privacy of Hudson students and their families and refrain from spreading rumors or speculation. So who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it Mrs. Bergman for dating an 11-year-old and then breaking his heart, and also breaking the heart of her fiance, 24 years old, for being the biggest hoe I've ever heard of in the entire world? Is it the 11-year-old boy? What are you doing? Making out with your teacher. And then writing notes. That's crazy. That's crazy to do. First of all, I'm calling you a piece of shit, not because, listen, he's a victim. This was wrong, all that stuff. But that aside, fuck you, 11-year-old. I was never that cool. I wasn't that cool when I was 16. Like, you're 11 and you're getting adult women? Holy shit. Show me a picture of this Adonis. What is he, like David Beckham's kid? Like, how are you 11 and you're pulling women? What the fuck? 11? 11 looks like a child. That's a child. I know why? Because it is.
Yeah.
It's a child. It's the second of the double digits. What are we doing? She's more than double his age, and she should never be that at 24. Ever. He's a piece of shit for being that fucking cool. I know it's not cool, but I'm saying still, fuck you. It's kind of cool.
He's gonna be a legend.
Yeah. Or he peaked at 11.
No, that stud's got a long future playing this game, Pat.
Because he's good. He writes notes and stuff. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. She's keeping notes from an 11-year-old. That's wild. He's quoting Drake. He doesn't know what to do. Here's a picture of my favorite anime. Like, thanks. But is it Sam Hicks, the fiance, who's like, dude, you want to talk about the coolest person ever being 11? How about the lamest guy ever being 24? You're so lame that your fiance is cheating on you with an 11-year-old boy at her school. She risked everything, her job, her future in life, her marriage coming up, everything, because she'd rather just make out with an 11-year-old boy than be with you. Is it the family that invited Mrs. Bergman into their home, gave them the 11-year-old's phone number so they could talk, and invited them on a winter break in the Alps together? Separate church and state. In this day and age, you don't realize if you see a cute white woman teacher that she's gonna fuck your kid. Haven't you read the news? I know it's mostly Florida, but a lot of times Wisconsin now. This is happening way too fucking much. Do not let your teachers have access to them. You have a phone. They talk to you. You are the parent. You talk to the teacher when it gets anything outside of the classroom. That's fucking disgusting. Is it that woman who didn't say her name, but the woman that's like, fuck Bergman with her selfies and her cute cup and her fucking shoes? What the fuck? Your focus is way off, bitch. How about the part where it's like, fuck her, with the part where she makes out with our kids? Or is it Wisconsin? I don't know if you noticed this, but I think the last couple of times we've told stories about someone doing something to students, it's been Wisconsin or at least Michigan. The Great Lakes area is not great for kids. It's bad for kids. It's great for adults. If you're a kid, get out of the Great Lakes.
It's great for boy kids. It's rough for girl kids.
Yeah, yeah, real rough for girl kids. So who's the piece of shit in this story?
For me, it's the fiance, Sam Hyde.
Sam Hicks.
Sam Hicks. If
Isn't Sam Hyde a comedian?
yeah. That's why I got confused because you said Hicks because Bill Hicks. But
Right.
if you go back to the quote from his friend, it's probably never going to happen now. Not he's done with that child fucking bitch. It's just the wedding's probably not going to happen now.
Yeah.
That means there's a good chance that Sam's kind of like your co-host, Matt, where there would have to be a number of interventions of people being like, dude, you cannot marry the kid fucker.
Yeah, and the fact that he's not saying anything and it's a friend going, he's pissed. We are all pissed. Like they're speaking for him because this idiot is probably calling her, going, "It's okay, I got you. Do you need a lawyer? Listen, I know we had a tough time, but I've got your back. I'll be here for you." Because he's heartbroken, and to him, it's probably the best get. When you saw him, he was kind of a nerdy little dorky guy. She looked cute, dressed. She knows how to dress for the boy she wants. You know what I mean? Like in that picture with the fiance thing, she's looking, like a cute 24-year-old woman. But she also, with that weird selfie with the glasses, she looks like something an 11-year-old would like, something you'd watch on a wacky TV show or something like this. I don't know. But like this guy is devastated. Now, what we're not hearing from, if you notice, is nowhere in there the 11-year-old's like, yeah, I want her back. He's done. He's moved on. He's probably got like a 26-year-old fifth grade teacher now or something cool.
Hopefully. That said,
He's
he's
making out.
I like how to know that the 11-year-old boy and I express affection in the exact same way, which is just makeouts and love letters.
Yeah. You know what, Bobby? That's gotten me to a lot of places at the beginning. It's a strong strategy. When you, it is, I'm not gonna lie, it is from the heart. At the beginning, you do mean those things. People could say later, oh, if you do it all the time, that isn't like a pattern. It's not a pattern. It's not a trick or a scam. When men do the same thing with other women, it's not like they have a game. It's how they show their love. If you're doing a different thing with every guy, you're the one doing tricks and schemes. You're the one with freaking bait that you're throwing into lakes and rivers and knowing what kind of fish to catch and what kind of lure. We don't. We only know love. That's our love language. Letters and making out. That's all we know. That's our passion.
And I also only send it to 24-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was something I dealt with too for a while. But I was also old enough to be their parent.
That's
Their
my goal.
parents were mad at me and pissed. An 11-year-old with game is fucking crazy. The piece of shit in this story, though, is the 11-year-old boy. Because, like, at the end of the day, the teacher didn't want to get caught, correct? At the end, if you're this person and it's all, just think about your head. If you're, not that you would ever be this person, but think if you are in this situation, the last thing you want to do is get caught. You really have everything to lose: your job, your reputation. You could go to jail, your fiance, everything you've got in your young, promising 24-year-old life, you've got to lose. Correct? And
Yeah.
it all gets destroyed by this thing that you supposedly, I guess, can't control. You are more in love with this person than anyone else in the world, according to you. You said this. If you're the 11-year-old boy, yes, you're going to get in the most trouble you've ever been in. But for an 11-year-old, is like grounded for a week or not allowed to go to school, which, by the way, is not a problem. Like, if anything, oh, I get to be in my room with video games and I can't go to school because you can't trust me around older women. Not really an issue. So the only way anyone finds out, because what we didn't see in here is what? That the parents found the letter. Not till later. The parents found the text. To me, the 11-year-old was getting tired of this bitch and let people find the shit. I think this kid was like, this would be hilarious if I got this lady. What if everyone knew? I don't think he thought like the whole levels of like jail and all these bad things. He doesn't know the law, I would guess. But then again, if he's 11-year-old and he's getting adult women, he might know way more than we know. You know, like seems like a very savvy person. But let's just say he thought she's gonna get in trouble. If he got mad, well, what if I tell on you? That's the ultimate 11-year-old move. Tell on you. So he tells somebody, yeah, I've been making out with her. Look at these texts and stuff. Boom. And then he destroys her life because the only way they find out is for him to tell. This dude is a savage. He got what he got, and then he get, which is badass.
We that yeah, that's one possibility. I think if you didn't you say in one of the love letters she dumped him though?
She wrote that, but we have to stop this. And then
Uh,
that's when I think he said, "Oh, you're gonna stop this," and
that's what I'm
that's how
saying. Yeah,
everybody found out. So yeah, she was going to say that, but then he told because he was like, "You're not doing that crap to me. You're not gonna embarrass me," because his little friends knew. There's no way an 11-year-old's keeping secrets. They probably didn't believe him, but he's probably saying to his friend when they're playing kickball, "Yeah, no, Mrs. Bergman's like, come into class." He's like, "I'm gonna come into more than class." They're like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, do you know what jizz is?" They're like, "No, we're 11." He's like, "Oh, yeah, me either. But once I have that, it's all over that lady because we're making out and we're in love." And also, I touch her and stuff. That's also in the letter. Thanks for touching me. I don't know where it touched her. Holy shit, 11-year-old. Someone's like, "Wait, your finger from your Lunchable sound smells crazy."
I mean, do you think he's now a stud? Like, you think the girls in
Now?
his grade are like, "Oh shit, I need a piece of that," or do you think he's a
No,
weirdo?
the kids in his grade think he's gross. Older kids, the 13, 14-year-olds, think he's cool as fuck.
Yeah, that would be the conversation you'd have to have with him, right? Be like, all right, for like a year or so, this is gonna be rough, but when you hit 13, trust me, just keep telling this story. You're gonna be the coolest kid around.
Well, you sit him down and you go, okay, first of all, anytime any adult approaches you in any kind of sexual manner, touching you, like, please come to us. Don't ever let this happen again. And then you let your mom leave the room, and the dad's sitting there and you close the door and you go, do you know what a legend is? You
Because
wanna
heroes, they come and go, but you,
there's a mirror behind you. If you want to turn around and look into that mirror, you're gonna see a legend. He's like, well, that's just me. He's like, it's not just anything, my son.
not anymore. Not since you did that. Now you're a legend.
That's when the father says, when your grandfather was 9, he married your grandmother who was 33. I met your mom when I was 10. We thought you were a little late to the game, but we're glad you're here.
We Oat Boys, we have a long history
Don't
of
put my name
impregnating
into
significantly older
this
women.
isn't me. How did I get in the mix? No mix.
Like 2 dicks and no chicks.
Oh no. All right. I'm gonna. Why don't you plug to no one for 2 seconds while I grab a coffee? So just plug a thing. I'll be right back. I'll be 2 seconds.
Pat is going to grab some coffee, so you get to find out that every day you can see the POS show in some shape or form, either on youtube.com/the POS podcast or patreon.com/the POS show. If you wanted to see me do stand up this weekend, you have an opportunity. Rick Bronson's House of Comedy in Bloomington, Minnesota. And the following week, I'm with Earl. A few weeks, I'll be with Pat. He's doing a big thing, so we'll tell you all about that to get tickets. Also, the Davy Mac Sports Program. We sound better than ever. We've got a higher level of production quality, so make sure you check that out. We're going to record a new Tales from the Satellite at some point whenever I can get the source material. And thank God Pat's back because I don't have many more gigs to plug. Pat, take it away.
My favorite thing you do because I always get the headphones in. Whenever I say I'm gonna get coffee, you always start with Pat's gonna get coffee. Like you give the update on the update, which I always appreciate. Yeah,
Pat.
but like Bobby said, with the 5 days a week here, we're doing that. We got the evening one tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Speech impediment man. Don't know how that's gonna go, but it's gonna be fun. That'll be live on YouTube, and then all the replay will only be here on the Patreon. So and then join us Wednesday morning again, live on YouTube for the Wednesday morning one. Thursday we will have a guest on our Thursday show. A buddy of mine who I taught comedy class to. Doesn't really do much comedy anymore, but has a really successful wrestling podcast, stuff like that. A guy named AJ, not AJ from Chaz and AJ. He'll be AJ LaRue will be
Styles.
there. Yeah, AJ LaRue, a good guy. We've had him on the show years ago, but I ran into him the other day, and he's like, "I'd love to come on the podcast," and I'm like, we were both at the Daffodil Festival. He works for like a company, like they were trying to like sell like Wi-Fi or whatever. And so I said, just so you know, our Patreon one show, if you want to call it a Thursday, that's one day he's available. I go, we don't really get a lot of viewers for that one yet. And he goes, we're both at the Daffodil Festival. Neither of us were looking for a lot of viewers. So, like, that's fair. So AJ will be on. That'll be fun for Thursday morning.
What's crazy
So
is Daffodil Festival's my nickname for that first movie you were telling us about, where the queers are fucking in the lighthouse.
that was actually the first title. Queers are fucking in love. So it's a long title.
That's from the town's perspective. They're like, we got to go get those two queers. I think they're fucking in the White House.
The Also, I know you're probably watching this in replay. Anyone on the Patreon watching this, he's still on the channel you're watching right here. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done that. So please like, subscribe, all that. And what we ask is always, please let people know that you enjoy the POS show, especially in the mornings. It's the best morning show there. Yesterday in Connecticut, a morning show for last second didn't have their main host. It was just AJ and two producers, and they didn't really come out and said why, but today it gets back to full. So some people came and watched us yesterday. So to those people, thank you for watching us when they were not there. Some people even asked me why I didn't get to be asked to be on. I'm like, I have a show, thank you, and I wouldn't have been able to go even if I wanted to. But no, nobody would have asked me anyway. But
if they had asked you, I would have not been mad at you. I would have been like, yeah, let's go.
That guy brought it up to me, like, would you? And I said, well, no, because first of all, that's a loot. It would never have been asked. Because that guy would have never let someone else host his morning show. He'd rather the three of them look like they need him and then move on, whatever. You know what I mean? So, but I get that it happens, whatever. But anyway, so thank you guys for all who do watch, like, subscribe, all those fun things. So, Bobby, you got one?
Yeah, just before, since this is the Patreon, before I tell
And we're
my
just
story,
gonna. I think doing two stories each, just saying out loud, is fine for the Patreon while until we gather a masses. So two stories
cool.
each is plenty.
But I was curious. Have you ever watched any of An Idiot Abroad or listened to any of their Ricky Gervais's radio show from
I've
XFM back
never
in the day?
listened to their show. I have seen clips from An Idiot Abroad, but never watched the full thing.
I would encourage anybody who's having a rough day and just needs a good pick me up, go check out one of the compilations of Steve Merchant versus Carl Pinkerton. As I was going to bed last night, I was giggling. And what reminded me of it, Pat, is you have a lot of Carlisms in you. Like, you've really mastered his way of being funny, which clicked with me. Because, like, at one point, they watched the movie Freaks. Have you ever seen that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's about people who look like freaks.
Okay.
It was banned in England for a while, and it was back, and then it's banned. And Carl does have an obsession with weird-looking people, and you have an obsession with weird-looking people. But he gets the
Yes.
movie, and he's pissed. He watches the movie, comes in pissed. And they're like, "What's wrong, Carl?" And Steve's really poking him, and he goes like, "Well, Steve, and you know what Steven Merchant looks like, right?"
Yes, I do.
He's like, "Steve, there's one bloke or one gal in there. She eats with her feet, but if she's not eating, she just looks normal." And Steve's like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm just saying, Steve. I'm not trying to take the piss out of you here, but you know what you look like. If you were sitting next to that woman, I'd come talk to you, think you were in the movie before." But all right, yeah, my second story. Let's do something positive.
But now, real quick before you pick that one, if you got more than one, what I just did was I looked and said, okay, what story's good to have buried that has to be buried, even though it could be fun. Like just the story we just did now, that would have been great in front of people. But whatever, it's buried, it's gone, whatever. So I've got two left, and I'm saving one that I know that our chatting people will be excited about. So I'm not going to do it today. So I'll save that one for tomorrow. So before you do this story, I'm just saying is this story can be fun for us, but is it going to be something that will be better in front of more people tomorrow?
So my thing with this one is I feel like it'll lead to a path of discussion we weren't planning on.
Cool.
A lot of our fans are religious folk, and
All right.
that's not what this story is so much about, if that makes sense. But what were you thinking?
No. I just meant that's why I made my decision. So I was saying to you, maybe make that same decision.
Oh, I got you.
The one that you think that we can have fun with, but also isn't a big deal if we just burn it in front of nobody, if you will, until people start joining the Patreon more and then watch backstories. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So if it's one of those ones that could lead to, like that one I just did, could have been crazy with everyone there, but I'm also kind of happy. It sounds weird, but if the kid was 16, I wouldn't mind that being out there in front of everyone. But the fact that the kid was 11, I'm kind of happy it's buried on the Patreon.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I think this one is good, and if you think that it leads to a good discussion, we can do it again. What do you think?
Oh, just
Or
do
should
it.
I hold this one?
No. You go. Whatever it is, go.
In a shocking incident at Jesus' Dwelling Place Church in Pennsylvania, a man attempted to shoot Pastor Glenn Germany during a Sunday service. The armed individual, identified as 26-year-old Bernard Jr. Polite. Well, it wasn't very polite. He tried to shoot his pastor, was it?
No. Wait, Bernard Jr. Polite? Or is Junior in quotes?
No, Junior's his middle name.
So he's not Bernard Polite Jr. He's Bernard Jr. Polite.
Bernard Jr. Polite, exactly.
I don't like that at all.
No, it's almost like he was destined to try to shoot a priest with a name
Yeah,
like that.
I would, but like you're the one to put this name. You allowed this in the eyes of God, Bernard Jr. Polite, Banuj.
The armed individual, BJP, walked up to the pastor.
BJP.
He walked up to the pastor with no warning and pulled the trigger of his gun, aimed directly at the pastor's face. So he got like right up to him, pulls the trigger.
Banuj.
Miraculously, the firearm failed to discharge, a moment Pastor Germany describes as divine intervention. The terrifying event was captured on the church's live stream,
Jesus.
showing a church member heroically tackling the gunman to the ground shortly after the failed shooting attempt. Pastor Germany, who had never seen Polite before the incident, managed to find cover and later assisted in subduing the suspect. Bernard Jr. Polite now faces charges including attempted criminal homicide and aggravated assault. Here's the kicker. In a related discovery, police found the body of a 56-year-old Derek Polite, a relative of Bernard, shot dead in the suspect's home. The guy he shot was accused of doing the same thing to another pastor in the area.
What?
Yeah, who's the piece of shit in this story?
Is
Is
it
it
Derek
the
Senior Polite?
Probably. Who's the piece of shit, Pat? Is it
shit.
the pastor who was like, you know what? Before I was just kind of going through the motions, but there might be something to this divine intervention thing. I believe in God again. Is it the pastor who then helped subdue the victim? This was Central PA. They were just stomping that dude. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Oh yeah.
No, God broke his ribs. God gave him a brain hemorrhage.
Some dude. Not some dude. We just
Yeah.
killed some dude.
Is it the Polite family?
They're not so polite.
No, that exactly as I said earlier, not real polite. Is it the guy who tackled the gunman? Let's at least see how this plays out, right? God stopped one bullet. Can he stop 6? Is it the other guy dead in the house?
They're polite.
Yeah, senior. DSP, if you will. Is it him? You know what you did. Karma's not going to end well for you. Or is it the police? Because it feels like there's a lot more investigation that needs to be done here. Right? Why is the Polite family have a vendetta against the clergy? You know, what happened to those poor boys? We'll hear you first. They're polite. Did they think they could keep a secret like unlike some other 11-year-olds? Pat, go ahead.
Well, first of all, they might be polite, but they're also morons because, like, to not be able that we're saying twice in this family's history, men have taken a gun, put it in a priest's face, and not gotten the job done. Like, how do you both misfire while being point blank? We don't know if Derek's story is exactly the same in point blank range, but they're saying the same thing, or at least a confrontation with a gun and a priest, whatever. I think the piece of shit in this story is not Derek, nor what was the other his name? Brendan. Bubba. Brendan. Not him. It's not the priest. It is. I'll call him Papa Polite, the father of the Polites, the patriarch of the Polites, if you will, because obviously we've learned how this man deals with people that bother him. There's no way 2 kids from the same family have not seen their father do that to the mailman, to anyone that comes collecting taxes, anyone who's ever come to that, any argument ever, playing a game of poker. The father must constantly be picking up a gun, putting it in people's faces and going, what do you think now? For them to both think this is how you deal with something, to the point of where you're dealing with a priest. Because that, I'm guessing if they're even dealing with a priest or going to that church and they're both doing that, yes, maybe there's backstory. Maybe priest did awful things to the plug junior and senior or whatever their names are. We don't even know what's happened with backstory, why they're there in that regard. What led them to go to the people of the cloth and put a gun in their face. With that being said, when people are deranged like that, they usually go back to things they learned from their youth. And this guy putting a gun in someone's face, but not being able to pull the trigger, proving that it's more about like not something he wants to do, but something that a man does. Like my father did this, now I do this, and my brother did this. When you're mad at someone, you put a gun in their face, you let them know, but then you get your ass stomped because at the end of the day, you can't shoot them because that's wrong. So it's Papa polite for not teaching them, hey, sometimes you can just say awful things about a priest. Like, didn't you guys know you could have just gone anywhere and been like, hey, that priest touches kids and just got him fired? You did not need to do anything more than that. You say it one time, and it's a moving that guy somewhere else sees it. That's all that happens with the
But
priest.
you see here,
And then put a
son,
gun in his face.
we polites, we come from a long line of people who shove our revolvers in the faces of clergymen. We can't just start accusing them falsely of molestations.
Now you are acting more like your mother and her with her maiden name's family, the Rudes. We're not like the Rudes. We're the Polites, and we don't do that at all.
Listen, I'm dealing with a lot. Your mom's got this dart thing with a he-she trying to beat her. I got to
Yeah.
focus on that. You just take the gun and put it in the priest face, okay?
Your mother, Gladys, Mrs. fucking Rude. She's the worst. Who do you
Oh,
think the piece
God.
of shit is?
I think the piece of shit in this story, Pat, is probably there's so many options.
There's so many.
For me, I kind of lean in on the guy who tackled the gunman.
Okay.
Because, like, in the Bible, right, when Jesus is getting captured in Gethsemane, Peter's like, nah, fuck that. And he cuts a dude's ear off. And then Jesus yells at him as he puts the dude's ear back on. So, like, you've learned the lesson there. Do you let the bad thing happen and then God takes care of
Was
it?
Jesus just yelling into that other ear though? Maybe he wasn't yelling at it. He's like, "Hey, can this still work?"
Can you hear it? Check, check.
I wonder.
No,
I know I'm God, but I wonder if it works still. If I hold the ear like a walkie-talkie and talk to you, can you hear it in the other ear?
my whole thing is, how did they let him get that close?
Well, because a priest never thinks anything bad's gonna happen. He's always like, "Let them approach," like that kind of bullshit.
Right. But when I went to mass a bunch, now I just mainly watch online thanks to the pandemic. But the ushers at St. Joan would not have let this man get that close to the like they would have been like, "Excuse me, sir."
Oh, my dad when he was an usher. And then by the third time, you like, say, where are you going? You're not. He wouldn't be stopping him from doing violence. He'd be stopping him from doing the thing he can't do, which is go be on the altar. It's like, whoa, 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 that's
Yeah.
my spot. We're
If
trying to be the stars up there, not you.
yeah, if anybody's done nothing but feels power because they've volunteered, it's me, not you,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. It's Patrick Senior Oates. Patrick Junior Oates is going to talk about it on his show.
Do you think perhaps, just perhaps, it was the presentation of the gifts? Like where you bring the gifts up and he's like, I got a gift for you here.
Yeah.
Now you're
Yeah,
gonna
you ever see when
appreciate
there's too
life.
many people, like a family wants to do it, and like one kid's got like the wine, and one of the ones got like the chalice, and the third one's like, "What do I carry?" It's like, "Well, you get to walk with them," and he's like, "Well, I'll just bring my gun."
He's like, I don't get to carry shit. All right. All right.
Well, I heard we were out of body of Christ, and you're supposedly Christ
The
is through you,
closest.
right? So let's
Yeah.
make some more. Padush.
I like to think they do this just to inspire faith. Like the guns never fire. They just break into churches all the time and reinvigorate the priest with a love of life.
Oh, it's more than a love of life. It's about to be the love of a gun right into your dumb mouth.
Well, no. It's this is a new psych thing I've been trying where people are super depressed and I show up and try pretend I'm gonna shoot them in the face and then they
Oh,
find a
that's
reason to
nice.
be happy again.
Well, because they get you arrested.
And their life flash and they're like, you know what? The other side wouldn't have been so great.
You know what? I'm happy you just brought up the life flash thing because I wanted to bring this up yesterday and I forgot quickly. I had a thing about this and I wanted to ask your opinion on this. So this weekend, probably since like Thursday till about yesterday, last night it didn't happen. In all my dreams, I'm not remembering my dreams, right? But I'm not that I always do, but sometimes you remember like if somebody like from your past or something is in a dream, you remember that. Or you remember like parts of a dream, but not like what it's about type deal. Not kidding. In the last 4 days, all my dreams have involved people that I haven't thought about in years, or people I barely ever talked to. It literally every dream has had different people, like just random, like something with random comedians I have no issue with or problem with. Just like, why is that person in this dream? I don't know why they're there, or like people from high school, or people like from my past year and there, all of them all over the place. And then I had this weird thought yesterday, and I'm like, it's kind of dark, but I was like, well, they always say that before you die, your life flashes before your eyes. Now, does your brain need to do an inventory and get all the editing? Is my brain now working through getting all the shit together and am I gonna die soon? Because it really is like, oh, remember this, like, oh shit, he can see this. Oh, fuck. Are they making the best of film so when I die I can see my life flash before my eyes? Is that why now all of a sudden I'm seeing all these people?
Is it ancestors that have already passed?
No. It's people I just know. No one's dead.
Okay, then because they do say like if you see either like loved ones that have moved on or something like that, that's a sign that you're getting ready to die. But
I
if
don't
there
think I've
are,
ever dreamed about anyone that's ever been dead. I don't think so.
then I think you're okay for now.
I thought
I
they were
think,
just making my highlight.
but it would you would think the highlight reel would be more people you enjoy, like that you talk
But
to on
then
a
I started to
regular
think
basis.
about them and like so like okay, so two of the comics that showed up are people I beat in contests that were like big deals at the time. Other people were people that like were involved in a way of me meeting people in my life later. They weren't starred, but they were there. I think they're getting the NPCs ready.
Oh, I like that. Or maybe it's telling you that you need to help foster your friends into success. Hmm?
Nah,
No, no.
nah, that's
It-
not happening.
It's not telling you to throw some hot puss Bobby's way.
Oh yeah, I mean that's not fostering. That's pimping. What you need, kid? It's like all right. It's like all
Well, I
right.
mean,
So
you're gonna have
oh,
to
good.
leave Connecticut to be successful if you want to pimp hot women. But go ahead.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not gonna pimp hot women. I'm just gonna convince people that these are hot here, situational. You know what I mean? Like Connecticut eights. You know,
Wisconsin
NY.
eats
Yeah, Wisconsin eights and Connecticut eights are
means a different
NYC
thing.
fours, but they're also Poughkeepsie 12s. You know what I mean? Like we're doing well. So it's like,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I just meant Wisconsin eats are teachers who make out with 8-year-olds.
yeah, let's
Hey
go.
yo.
I'll get you a schoolboy outfit like the guy from ACDC. By the way, did you see Mike O'Donnell's post?
No, I got to check it
It was
out.
from last night, and he didn't put share on it. It just said, he's like, playing guitar is awesome because it leads to things like doing heroin dressed like a schoolboy.
That's a great post.
But
Pat,
all
you want to
right,
give some
for
plugs real quick while I run to the bathroom
I'm
before our
gonna do
last story?
plugs,
I'm
then we're gonna do
sorry.
our final story. No, perfect. No, we did the plugs before, but yeah, if you could hit like, subscribe, all those fun things there. What we're excited about tonight. All jokes aside, I as a guy who grew up listening to Howard Stern and stuff like that, and all the whack pack people on there, it's kind of cool that we had like a week or two ago in our chat. We had Wendy the retard. I know Wendy the slow adult now in our chat. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cool that I have not as much as other people, but I have argued or had issue with Stuttering John. It's weird when I tell like Stuttering John, they're like, wait, Howard Stern Stuttering John? I'm like, yeah, that guy argues with me on the internet and has yelled things at me. That's weird. You know what I mean? It's weird, but it's funny as a person that listened. Not that I think like he's a star or I'm like giving respect to any of these people, but I'm saying is it's very strange that people I used to listen to on the radio are now the people that I'm arguing with or interacting with in a podcast setting. So tonight, 8 o'clock live on our YouTube channel, but in the replay it will be here on the Patreon. You will have an opportunity to see me and Bobby in speech impediment man. So you can start searching in there and in your Google machines and finding out what this guy was there. But he was somebody that was a whack packer on the Howard Stern show and was on many appearances, many times. And he's gonna now be on POS tonight for no freaking reason. And like Bobby said before, maybe he said before we were on the air, I'm not sure, but like not sure how long we're gonna have him on. I'm not sure what he can add, but we're gonna do stories. We're also gonna have fun banter. And if any of you are watching this in the Patreon and you want to be on with Speech Impediment Man, that's our gift to you. If you happen to watch this today, anytime during the day, this came out at 8 a.m. On our Patreon Tuesday morning. If you watch this and get to this point where I'm saying, hey, you on our Patreon, if you would like to be on the show with Speech Impediment Man, even for a couple minutes, you definitely can. You have to just message, comment on the Patreon underneath and say, I want to be on today. Send me a link. I'll send you a link, and you can be on 8 o'clock tonight with Speech Impediment Man. That is our gift to you as a patron. Now, if more than one of you do it, then more than one of you can be on. We're not going to keep you all on for a while, but you all get a chance to talk to them, or at least ask them a question, or say weird shit, or do whatever you want to do. So you, the patron, that is your gift from us. If you watch this today, now once if you watch it tomorrow on Wednesday, then we can't help you. We don't have time machines. But if you haven't watched it today, there's your little gift. You can now. I'll even put a post later on in the thing saying, if you watch this episode before 8 o'clock tonight, there's a special offer for you guys that involves the show tonight at 8 o'clock. So if you want to be on with Speech Impediment Man from the Howard Stern show back in the day, which I don't know if is really a gift or whatever, you can by just messaging us, commenting, and saying, send me a link, I want to be on, and you'll be on. So we appreciate that. Now, the final story I'm going to do before Bobby comes running back, actually is a story that we covered yesterday on our Monday. So if you watch the Monday show, where, by the way, once again, thank you, Luis Santos. Luis Santos, to me, he's been on twice. We've had a couple guys on twice. He might be my favorite guest. I think he gets the show more than anybody else. If you guys enjoy Luis, please let me know in the comments as well. This one, if you like him and want to have him on more. I think he does a great job. It's a different perspective. You usually have two white guys on, a younger Latino guy who's funny and doesn't mind jumping in, gets the jokes and all that is great. So if you watch that episode, you would have seen a couple stories we covered. In one story, I actually have a follow-up from the story before. So now that Bobby is coming back on, we can lead beautifully right into that. Perfect timing sitting down. Bobby, just so you know, I just gave the fans, the ones that are on our Patreon, a special offer for tonight. I said, so some of you, we're not going to have people watching right now, but some of you may watch it today during the day. So this came out at 8 a.m. today. Tonight, we have Speech Impediment 8 p.m. tonight. If any of our patrons are watching this and want to be on with Speech Impediment Man, even for a minute, all they have to do is comment in the Patreon and say, give me a link. And anyone, as a gift for watching this episode on the day it came out, you can come on with Speech Impediment Man. And if more than one of you wants to, then more than one of you can. Just be a little bit at a time. We'll give you a slot. And you come on. You can ask a question to him or just be on the show. So you can have a selfie quickly of Bobby, Pat, Speech Impediment Man, and yourself. And just post that and go, what the fuck is this? What is my life? You can have that. Now, if you see it on Wednesday, you don't get the gift. Sorry. But if you watch it today and you want to be on for a second, that's our gift by being a patron. So thank you. But now, what I'm going to do is, this story today is a follow-up to a story we covered yesterday on our show with Luis, which I actually just said again. I think he's one of my favorite guests that we have on, and I was asking people to please comment if they enjoy him, because I think he has a different perspective, and I think he gets the show, and I really like Luis.
Luis was great.
So this story, Bobby, remember yesterday we talked about the squatters in that $500,000 home in Georgia. Well, guess who's back? Back again. Squatters returned to Georgia House candidate Mel Keaton's $450,000 home after arrest. Now, yesterday they did not say. They said it was a big famous house. They didn't say it's someone who's in the Georgia House of Congress. House Senate House is Mel Keaton. They did not say that part. So now we know it is a prominent Georgia person in politics home. Worst criminal activity I've ever seen. Georgia State House candidate Mel Keaton says he's in the middle of an ongoing chaotic saga as squatters took over his $500,000 Atlanta area home, even coming back after being arrested and bonding out of jail. So they got out of jail and they went right back to the house. Well, that's where they live. To be fair.
I mean, where would you go when you got bonded out? You'd go home.
This is the worst criminal activity I've ever seen in my life, he told Fox and Friends First on Monday. The squatters' latest offense came as recently as earlier that morning when they broke into the house shortly after 1 a.m. The 6 offenders have already been located and arrested after police noticed the neighbor's stolen car parked in front of the home. Now, they had that before, but they're still using the stolen car. Which, by the way, if they know it's a stolen car, how do they still have it?
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Why is this car still accessible?
Unless it's another neighbor's car. 2 received felony charges, and the remaining 4 were charged with trespassing. Following their release, the fight continues. We have to get the police back involved. The city of South Fulton back involved. It will go through the same process again because they are trespassing. They are already aware that the property is supposed to be vacant, said Keaton, who is also president of the Hampton Oaks Homeowners Association. See, that's the thing. Yesterday when we read this, they just said the home of the Hampton Oaks Homeowners Association president. They did not say he was also in the Georgia State Congress. It's a little bigger power. Now I'm kind of almost getting what these guys are doing. They're probably haven't had the best time in Georgia. They're like, fuck this guy in his house. What is he gonna
They're
do?
they're making a political statement.
By the way, I'm looking to see a picture of Mel Caton, the blackest man. Like he has a very like remember that movie that came out I think it was called the Air Up There. It was like a basketball movie where they played like in Africa and they found a guy and then they brought him back. There was like an old like weird like Disney type movie, but he has a very if you ask this guy to play a tribe member in a movie, you wouldn't be shocked.
Gotcha. It wouldn't be like the wrong type of
Yeah,
African
Mel, and
American.
it's Keyton. He insists the law is on the squatter's side, as co-host Todd Pirro noted. The alleged trespassers have remained in the home since before Christmas.
Christmas.
They were just using the legal system to stay in the house. Caton added. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp recently signed the Georgia Squatter Reform Act into law, enabling property owners to go after squatters for damages, in addition to speeding up the eviction process, which is crazy they had to put that law in effect. Before that, you could just chill whenever you wanted. Fox News' Ainsley Earhart, reporting on the act last month, said it would be made squatting a misdemeanor criminal defense punishable by a year in jail. She also noted that squatters could face a $1,000 fine, sometimes in addition to possible jail time. If they forge a fake lease, they could be charged with a felony. And what I find funny is, in this law, they could get a year to jail. So people who have nowhere to live, the punishment is somewhere to live. Now, I know it's jail, but they're trapped kind of in both places. They really can't do much in either place without getting in more trouble, So it's kind of funny. They get a place out of getting a place. Prior to Kemp's signature, squatting was a civil matter in Georgia. The problem rose to an epidemic in the Peach State, with Bloomberg reporting earlier this year that over 1,200 metro Atlanta homes have been taken over by squatters. Dude, 1,200 homes. That's insane. First of all, how many vacant homes are there? So who is the piece of shit in the story? Is it our boys, the Serious Six? That's what I'm calling them. They got a gift on Christmas Day, and they're not giving up that gift. So they went back. They get out of jail. Where do you go? Home. What's home? Home is where you make it. Home is where the heart is. Or home is where the stolen car is. And that's where they went back. They went back to where they know. And they went there, and they lived there. Is it this guy who's a state Congress guy who's just like, hey, man, you're the state Congress guy. But you've also, I know you work for state Congress and you're a politician. We know politicians don't make a ton of money. We know you have to raise a lot of money. But man, dude, I know you need to have money to run for office and do things like that. But dude, you have a $450,000 home that you can just let sit for 6 fucking months and you don't even notice people are living in it. Where the fuck are you getting that money? Where are you living now? You're a Georgia guy and you just got a fucking like a home in the homeowners association. You're the leader of the homeowners association, but you're not even there. Where the fuck are you staying? What are you doing? And where are you getting all this fucking money, bro? That's my question. You don't even know like Somalian pirates or whatever just chilling in your fucking house? Go ahead about it.
Are we sure he's a senator for Georgia's state senate, not a state senator from Georgia? Because it would make
No.
sense if he had to live in D.C. all year that he has his nice house that he's not in. But if he's in the state, it means he
I
has another property somewhere.
I paid attention to Georgia State House candidate. So he's not even okay. You know what? He's not even there. He's just running for
Yeah, so that means
Georgia State Senate.
Yeah, so it rules out what I was thinking of. Like, all right, I get it. A lot of times, guys have to like live in their office because they can afford one house, but if they didn't live in that state, then they can't.
Right, and if he's not even crazy, because one thing if he was in, because then maybe he does go somewhere else. Maybe he's like there, but he's also looking at aspirations. Now that he's in the Senate for Georgia, maybe he's got aspirations of bigger. So now he's running around the country. Maybe he's hanging in D.C. trying to build that. As a candidate to be in the Georgia State House, you would think that means he's constantly campaigning in the state of Georgia and therefore would want to be around his neighborhood of rich people that are influencers that could fucking get people to fucking back him. So why would he let Somalian pirates ruin their neighborhood? I don't know. It's a little fucking weird there. Is it him for being the piece of shit? Is it Georgia for only a year ago? and having the governor sign off on a thing going, yeah, maybe we should actually arrest people, not make it a misdemeanor if you live in a home that's not yours. That should have been the rule from the start. I'm sorry. If you go break into someone's home, even if they're not there, and just decide to live there, you should be allowed to be pulled the fuck out of there the day you're not supposed to be there. It shouldn't be like, no, give them time. Why are we giving them fucking time? I don't care where they go. They're not supposed to be in there. That's a wild law. This is Georgia. This isn't Los Angeles or San Francisco. They're not pooping in the streets. You can't do that kind of shit. You got to fucking clean it up and do that stuff. Is it law for allowing them to now still get a year in jail and get $1,000 fine? They could just sell one of the other stolen cars. I'm sure they've got a bunch. I don't think money's going to be an issue for these guys. They've been living rent-free and fucking car payment free for a while. Any money they make is theirs. They probably have sweet keg parties there. They could get $1,000 in a second. Or they could just rob somebody for $1,000. They seem to be okay with robbing people. Who's the piece of shit in this story, Bobby?
So for me, the biggest and like should not get a pass piece of shit in this story would be Gladys Knight
Oh, the Pips.
and the Pips. Yeah. The bitch, you don't leave California to support your man because he gave up on his dream. You make him stay and succeed that dream. I fucking hate her for that. Why would you be like, no, I'm going with you back to go work at the fucking go to nursing school and give up on it? Fuck you. Be like, no, you stay.
On a midnight train?
No, you don't get on the midnight train to Georgia.
All
That's what
right.
the whole song's about. He gave up
I
on
know,
his
but you can
dreams. He
work the
didn't make
train.
it. And then she was like, I'm going to go with you back to your shitty life. No, you go, we're going to stay here together. You don't go back to the stolen house. So
All
I
right,
think
Bobby,
with
do you
this,
know how long a train ride would be from midnight or not? Georgia to LA is
Yeah.
a crazy train ride.
You ever lose a basketball or lose a rugby match and you had a long bus ride back?
Yeah, we was in two vans. We had we were playing Maine, and then we went to Connecticut. Doesn't seem far, but it was like 7 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah.
with
Now
the theme
imagine
parks
you're
in
in a
Maine.
train and you gave up on your dream. How long is that fucking train ride of silence? You think Gladys got knocked around in the back a little bit?
I think every ride I've gotten back from a comedy show is me giving up on my dream and going back home.
Yeah. Now imagine it's a fucking train from LA to Georgia.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I do agree that Gladys Knight is an asshole. But I don't know.
I
Oh,
have a
please, you
second
have another
piece of
one. I
shit.
thought that
Yeah,
was your
yeah,
only. No, I thought that
No,
was your
no.
only one. I'm like, I gotta make something happen here.
No. Dude, this is so I kind of get where you're coming from. You should be able to remove people right away. But at the same time, like in England, this was a big problem where they had all these mansions that people were no longer living in squatters. And do you know what happened? Dirt cheap rent because they just wanted somebody in the house to make sure no one else who wasn't supposed to be there lived there. Like we're at a point now where the haves in America have and the haves not cannot. Like this might be a way to start swinging things back a little bit. We see all the Columbia students. They're out there camping in the streets because there's no dorms for them. They can't afford dorms, so they're just out there. They have to have tents, and they're allowed to do that. But when the six squatters are trying to make a political statement by moving into this guy's house to prove, hey, he might say he represents Georgia, but he hasn't been home since Christmas. They're the bad guys. So for me, piece of shit in this story is actually the guy whose house got broken into.
Now, I agree with you if they really were making a political statement. Now, I made that part up. That part wasn't part of the story. I just kind of said that. I think these are just six pieces of shit. So, if they're making a political statement, then yes, the guy is the piece of shit. But if not, it is six men who think, well, this is our home because we found it on Christmas and now we own this and now we can take kind of a piece of shit move to just go, we own this. And I like in the story, they're like, by the way, if you also forge a lease, you can get in trouble. I don't think these guys are sitting down with lawyers and doing paperwork. I don't think that was the issue. It's like so if you live here, prove it by signing a lease. Like, yeah, well, it's just signed Dr. Seuss. Like, they don't give a shit what they sign on it. They're lunatics. They fucking took over a house. And also, by the way, and I don't know why no one's even bringing this up. I question six men living together. Why? It's a big place. Six men? That's a lot of men to live together in one place.
One dude's like, I'm William Defoe. Throw real dirt in my face.
Yeah. And the other, yeah. And by the way, they're just there waiting for what's her name, Piper Pierre, to show up so they can be like, you want to make that meme again? White woman?
Ooh. That would be fun if you're just watching porn one day and you're like, that looks like my motherfucker, the squatters.
That's my Yeah, and the
That's my
song in the background is
goddamn
like, "Here
house.
comes my cock, doo 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 doo." Like, oh no, that song you remixed it. It's like, who did that?
The
Metro
midnight
Boomin?
train to Georgia. Like, God,
Uh,
I want to be mad, but it fits so well.
yeah, it does. Anyway, so thank you everybody for watching today's POS. We appreciate you making sure you join us tonight at 8 p.m. for our special guest, speech impediment man. He'll be on the show. Like I was saying before, Bobby, when you were off getting coffee or going to the bathroom or doing whatever, I was saying that even all jokes aside, it is kind of fun and surreal to know that when I used to listen to Howard Stern show, that we've had interactions with whack packers, which I never thought in my life would happen. Having one on the show, I'm not saying like we're not by no means are Bobby and I going to be starstruck. Like it's stupid that we're having him on, but stupid in the most hilarious way possible. The fact that Wendy the retard was in our chat, stupid, crazy, and weird, just so nuts. The fact that I've been in arguments with stuttering John Melendez, fucking stupid. But I like the stupid that we bring. So the fact that we're gonna have Mont, who knows how long it's gonna go, if it's gonna be good at all, train wreck or not, I don't care. It's hilarious that a guy I used to listen to struggle with speech on a radio show is now gonna be on our podcast. So tune in tonight and do that. Like I said, if you are someone who's watching this now on Patreon on that day, on Tuesday, on May the 7th, it is before 8 p.m. Know that you can be on the show as speech. Even if you want to be on for 1 minute or be in the background the whole time, you can just chill in the corner, turn your mic off, and just watch from there. If you want to be just on the screen and go, look at me, I'm there. Whatever you want to do, you can ask questions of them. Whatever you want to do, you can be on. All you gotta do is message. You can message me or Bobby, or just on the Patreon underneath the comments of the episode. I'm also gonna put a post up on the Patreon in a moment, telling everyone, if you watch the episode, there's a special offer for you in there concerning tonight's 8 o'clock show. So just to get you to watch and do whatever. But also to say thanks for being a patron. And here's your gift. You can meet superstar speech impediment man.
And I don't want to be this guy, but there may be an additional special guest, former whackpacker, on to assist
Her?
us. Nope.
Oh, nice. But either way, what everyone's sitting guess who that could be. By the way, I like that he's speech impediment man is Sim. All he needs a P. He can be the ultimate Sim. But he's there. But thank you guys so much for watching today. Hit like and subscribe and all those things on there. We appreciate you. And Bobby,
If you can't join them, beat them. And this is a Patreon episode, so we already know you aren't a piece of shit.